How about that? Let's try that again. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Coffee with Kenobi here, Facebook Live. I am so excited to be here with each and every one of you. We are, of course, here every Monday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. I am your host, Dan Z, drinking One Nation coffee out of my Disney refillable mug, of course. Dennis, thank you, buddy. As I was saying, got some fun stuff going on here. Dennis can hear me now, which is always a good thing. How's everybody doing tonight? What's going on in the world of Star Wars? A lot of great stuff, I think, going on because we're here together as a Star Wars community. Hello, Dennis. It's good to see you, my friend. I tell you what, Facebook Live has become a prep all in and of itself. Of course, we do the regular podcast, Coffee with Kenobi, coming up close on 7 years of doing the show, which is kind of hard to believe. Really, really hard to believe. But, it's been so much fun. We always have a great time sharing Star Wars with each and every one of you, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. Of course, we know things are in flux right now, right? This is an interesting, challenging time, but for me personally, things that are getting me through it are my family, my Star Wars family, and my family at home, who, because of their awesomeness, especially my amazing wife, Deanna, I'm able to bring Coffee with Kenobi to you live on Mondays. Okay, so what did everybody think about that little opening intro there? If you are a Patreon supporter, Big 7 on its way. That's right. Hey, here's somebody you may recognize. Corey Clubb, our co-creator. Corey, good to have you on the show tonight. Of course, the opening that you saw is a collaboration of a lot of different things. Most importantly, my son Peyton filmed this. I used my GoPro, and I've been wanting for a while to do something with my collection to showcase it and to feature it. And of course, you have to, right? I mean, I've been wanting for a while for people to see kind of where the studio is, where we record things. This is just one part of what you're seeing right now. Last week, people asked me about the basketball right over there. And that basketball was given to me at Illinois State University at halftime. They honored me during their Star Wars night, and the coach autographed it. But I've got a lot of cool collectibles here as well. So Peyton filmed it. He made the opening graphic for me. And the end graphic with the Millennium Falcon and all that stuff was done by a good friend of mine. I'm not sure if that person wants me to share their name or not, but yeah, they helped me out quite a bit on that. Of course, the music is from Steve Torok, the album Eye to Eye, which we've been using pretty much since the beginning of the episode, since the beginning of Coffee with Kenobi back in May of 2013, which is pretty crazy. The shirt tonight is from Funko. It's, of course, Baby Yoda, and that was given to me by Simbot Deptadarian. Thank you, Simbot. That was really, really awesome of you. It's a thank you, Dennis. It is a cool shirt. I love it. It's fun to be able to, you know, celebrate Star Wars in so many different ways. And like I was saying, for people who are Coffee with Kenobi Patreon contributors, you got to see that video a week ago. So what we've been trying to do, and I've been working on this for a couple of weeks now, my ultimate plan, thank you, Colby. Colby is a great guy, of course, helped to get this into my possession. So thank you, my friend, for that. Very, very kind of you. This, the Patreon thing, what we've been doing, of course, if you were a $5 contributor, $5 a month, you get access to CWK Pro Over, hosted by myself, Tom Gross, and Corey Clubb. And that is something that has been great. It's been fun to do that. It's been fun to advertise because we get to talk about popular culture together. The most recent one that we just did is where we talked a lot about how we're handling this quarantine. Hey, William, how are you, buddy? It's good to see you here on Coffee with Kenobi's Facebook Live. Let me move this over here a little bit. That's a good place to do it. I might change the color a little bit on these. It's very much in fluidity, this creation of mine that we're doing. It's kind of like running a little production studio, and it's great fun, but it's definitely very interesting and very unique to do. Hopefully that will be a little bit easier for people to see. Let's try that. Okay, we'll see. Pulver is the best Patreon podcast out there. Well, Dennis, thank you for that, dude. I really appreciate that very much. That is, it's fun. It's definitely a labor of love. It's definitely something that we enjoy doing. It's definitely something that we have a blast doing. I think that comes through in the recordings themselves. I mean, I really do. They're great fun to be able to share love of Star Wars, but other kinds of popular culture as well. Hopefully that's a little bit easier to see. Let's try it out. Yeah, much better. All right. Very good. Well, thank you, Dennis. I appreciate that very much, my friend. Again, I am your host, Dan Z, and tonight we're going to talk about a couple of different things. One, if you are been following Coffee with Kenobi in the CWK Cafe, like some of you are right now, what we are doing is we're trying to contribute to our Star Wars culture, to our Star Wars family, and one of the ways we do that is to build up this community, this wonderful community. So I have a question for you. At the end of our shows, well, hey Ross, how's it going, man? Ross, of course, is a longtime contributor and a longtime supporter of Coffee with Kenobi. We actually met Ross in Chicago at Celebration Chicago on the podcast stage. He was working the crew and was kind enough to volunteer for that, and we got to hang out with him. We spent time at Indiana Comic Con together, so that was really, really fun as well. Anyway, back to this. This is the CWK Cafe community, and I love it. But I want something to refer to our Patreon contributors. I don't want to say Coffee with Kenobi contributors are our Star Wars family or our Coffee with Kenobi family, because that's not fair. That's like saying you have to pay to be a part of the family, and you don't. You're family because you support us, because you're Star Wars fans, because you are positive people who interact with us, who use a critical lens to analyze Star Wars, who just have fun and build up this community that we have, right? That's the key. So my question is, I want to think of a way to come up with how to describe our Patreon contributors. On WDW Radio, Lou refers to his as WDW Radio Nation. Well, I'm not going to say Coffee with Kenobi Radio Nation because that would be plagiarism. And I'm not going to do that. And Lou's such a great guy, and I would never do that. And it wouldn't be authentic. I want something authentic. But if you try to put on a synonym for nation, it basically becomes political or like state or things like that. And I don't want that message to come across either as well. So the Danites, LJ Souter, thank you, my friend. Thank you for that fascinating idea. The Danites, I love it. No, probably won't do the Danites, but I do like the idea of that. Something, that emphasizes the fact that we are a community, the fact that we are a family, that we are together in our love and our admiration of Star Wars. So be thinking about that. Not Coffee with Kenobi Nation, but some sort of way to describe our Patreon contributors and Patreon supporters as well. So in the meantime, what I did this week, and I posted this on CWK Cafe, or in CWK Cafe, as well as on Twitter, I introduced my son Mason to Solo for the first time. Now, at this point, the time of this live recording, he has seen all of the films except for Revenge of the Sith and Rogue One. So he's 6, so I'm not in a huge hurry to show him Revenge of the Sith, of course, because that's a little risky. Oh, nice. Ross says that he watched Rogue One on Sunday. Rogue One is obviously a tremendous movie. The Dandalorians. Oh, nice, Lisa. I figured Lisa would be all over this because we're talking about Solo, the slow roasters. Interesting. But does that sound like we're kind of moving slow? I don't know, because, we're not. We are ready to roll. I like it. It's very, very clever. The cleverness that we've got going on here is great. Yeah. So anyway, I showed him Solo, and he loved it. He loved it. It was thrilling for him. The other one we hadn't seen is Rogue One, as I just mentioned. But he thought it was fun. He got a huge kick out of the Falcon. He got a huge kick out of Lando. But his favorite part, his favorite character, guess who his favorite character was in Solo? Glenn, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Good to hear from you. Hey, late to the party or on time, doesn't matter. We are happy to have you here, Glenn. So Dennis says, back to Revenge of the Sith, he says he skipped Anakin's fate when he shows his boys Revenge of the Sith for the first time, which is what I think I will do as well, because I think it's a little tricky to do. And I don't want him to. I don't want him to see the part with Anakin and the Jedi, the younglings. I definitely don't want him to see the immolation scene as well. But everything else is good. But to be honest, he's a little nervous about Palpatine, because after seeing Palpatine in The Rise of Skywalker, he's kind of, I don't know. But then we played Battlefront this week, and he was all about the Emperor suddenly. So LJ says, Soul Roasters kind of sounds like a mall walking group. LJ, you need your own podcast, dude. Enfys Nest. Enfys Nest, he did like Enfys Nest, but his favorite character in The Rise of, in Solo was Darth Maul. He was in it for like 2 seconds. But he just thought that was cool. But he's, again, I think he's on a big Battlefront kick. So the reason I showed him Solo was because I wanted to show him a new Star Wars movie, and I don't think he's ready for Rogue One or Revenge of the Sith. And Solo is just fun. Like, I know Lisa's never heard of Solo. But Solo is just great fun. And again, Alden Ehrenreich is just awesome. I'm hoping, especially during this quarantine that we have going on, if you haven't seen Solo, you need to watch it. It's extremely fun. It's extremely engaging. It moves really quickly. It's not like it's super complex or anything, but it's just a fun, entertaining narrative with some great characters, some great action sequences, and some spectacular individual scenes between characters, particularly Emilia Clarke and Alden Ehrenreich as Solo and Kira, respectively. I think that's fun, and I think Woody Harrelson's pretty engaging too as Beckett. What do other people think about Solo? I think Solo is great fun. I think it's something that has certainly stood the test of time, even though it hasn't been on for a very, very long time. But I just feel like it's holding up well, and it's got that great stuff with the Falcon. The Falcon, Yes. Dave says, Dave, hey, good to see you, man. Dave says it's fast-paced fun from beginning to end, and I completely agree with that. It is a lot of fun. Solo's, okay, so Glenn says, Solo was very underrated. If it came out before The Last Jedi, I am convinced it would have done a lot better. I agree with that. I think it would have been much, much more talked about and discussed. It's just tricky because it came out, The Last Jedi came out in December, and then Solo came out in May. So that made it very, very difficult for people. But tonight it should have been. So Lisa says it should have been a December release. I completely agree with that. Tyler Pompa, who's also an awesome contributor to our Patreon page, says Solo is a total blast. I agree with that. Ross loves Solo. Solo is, again, it's great fun. And then it's aged well. But I asked earlier today, hey, what do you want me to talk about on Facebook Live tonight? And I got a lot of great suggestions. But Rob Wainford from the Bearded Trio, who's a awesome guy, says he wanted us to talk about the Phantom Menace and a perspective of it over time. Came out in 1999, right? So it's been a while. Corey's got another suggestion for us. I think Corey and LJ need to have their own podcast. The Hot and Fresh Tribe. Corey, I need your help designing these so the color pops a little bit better. That's a good idea. I love it. All right, so I'm kind of, I've kind of lost my train of thought here because your conversations over in the comments section are very, very entertaining as well. Oh yeah, Rob Wainford, Bearded Trio. So Rob suggests that we talk about how the Phantom Menace has aged. Again, the movie, is 21 years old, right? Isn't that crazy? How does everyone feel about the Phantom Menace? Yeah, Lisa says the Phantom Menace has aged well. I completely agree with that. I certainly think it has too. So we talked earlier about Solo and The Last Jedi in the quickly they released. Glenn comes up with something interesting. He says, full disclosure, I didn't see Solo on the theaters because of my initial disappointment from The Last Jedi. I saw it on Netflix and loved it. I've since come to grips with The Last Jedi. Great. I think that's so important. We have an open mind, right? The first time sometimes it's a little bit hard to grasp and to Tyler, in reference to the age of the Phantom Menace, says you can buy it a drink. Well, how about that? Isn't that nice? Very clever, Tyler. Um, I think it's cool because obviously we are a very discerning fandom and we have very specific tastes, right? We have very specific tastes about things. And sometimes because we are so close to this franchise, we have a hard time sort of discerning where we're at with it. I know for me, usually when I see a movie for the first time that's from Star Wars, it's tricky because I'm so used to knowing beat by beat and knowing every part of these films. And when it doesn't spring right away to mind or it doesn't seem familiar to me, it throws me off. And you kind of get this weird fan anxiety thing. Then you open your mind, you listen to other people, and you give it another chance, and it blows you away. I mean, Corey says Phantom Menace is a great film for young fans, and he is absolutely correct. I think Phantom Menace is great fun, and it never ceases to amaze me how much people love Jar Jar Binks. Like, kids love Jar Jar. I'm telling you, I've said this a million times, but Jar Jar is kind of thought of like I think about the Three Stooges. At least for my son and my kids, they laugh so hard. Adam, no worries, man. Good to have you here. Of course, not only can you watch it now on Facebook Live, but you can watch the replay. It will be in the Coffee with Kenobi Facebook and CWK Cafe feeds as well, which is really, really good. LJ says he's come around on Phantom Menace. He saw it. He was in his 20s and he wasn't a fan. However, he watched it with his daughter a few years back and saw her reaction. It put George's choices in perspective. Now I love it. Exactly. That's exactly what I was just getting to say when it comes to Jar Jar Binks. People love it because, especially like younger audiences, because it's their Star Wars. It's what they grew up with. I think that's the big thing. Yeah, and Adam, I agree with you. I've never been annoyed by Jar Jar either. Even when it first came out, I was just like, oh, okay. Tom, our CWK newsman, Tom Gross, says he just watched Phantom Menace and its great moments. The intro to the Jedi Council, the lightsaber battle, and Obi-Wan on those Naboo ships. Yes, those things are great. And the great sound effects when they put up the shields and the shields bounce off when the battle droids are attacking the Gungans. That kind of, I don't even know how to describe it. It's they have it in Battlefront as well. And it's just great. Star Wars is so great for sounds. I mean, it really is. Lisa says she's always loved Jar Jar. Comic relief, great for kids, and a sweet character. Absolutely. We just watched the Clone Wars episode from season 1 the other night where Jar Jar, as a senator, goes down to try to negotiate the release of Dooku and Anakin and Obi-Wan from Hondo Ohnaka. It's like the second episode he's ever in. And it was cool to see him there as well. So Brandy House, Brandy, welcome to the show, says she still has fond memories of the Phantom Menace. She saw the midnight showing on a Thursday night, senior year of high school, with some of her friends. They went to school the next day and had seen some classmates at the movie in the night before. Didn't know they were Star Wars either. It was like we were part of a secret club the next morning. I'll never forget, this is 2 years earlier, but when I went and saw the special edition of A New Hope, when we were waiting in line, of course, it was Star Wars, and I got to see it again, like on the big screen, so I was super thrilled. But I remember walking by, getting ready to get some popcorn, and there were these people cleaning up. They were working the theater, and they're like, it's just a movie. And they just didn't get it. And that's okay. You know, Star Wars isn't for everyone. That's all right. But I think it's interesting. Phantom Menace is magnificent. Tom, actually, on our podcast stage in Chicago, brought up a great conversation. Tom, feel free to put it in the Facebook comments, but Tom brought up a great moment from the Phantom Menace novel that's pretty powerful and very interesting insight into Anakin. Kind of makes it more tragic a little bit later. But as I was saying, that person in the movie theater was like, well, you know, it's just a movie. Why are people getting so excited? Well, because it's Star Wars, and look around, it's a community. Just like I mentioned in December, when The Rise of Skywalker came out, The Rise of Skywalker was fantastic because LJ says Naboo Starfighter is the best designed ship in the saga. Really? Wow. I'm glad you feel that way. So does that mean that the Naboo Starfighter is a character, LJ? Is that what that means? When The Rise of Skywalker came out, I love that all on my Facebook feed, just my personal feed, families were going to the movie and taking pictures by the poster. That shows you how powerful it is. I think that's really interesting because how often do you see that? If it's not Star Wars, when do you see people going to the movies and taking pictures by the poster. Star Wars does something. It's our mythology. Dennis says he wished they had saved the reveal of the double-bladed lightsaber for the movie itself instead of bringing it out in the trailer. You know, I don't disagree with that. That would have been kind of cool too. But I will say that trailer was one of the most spectacular trailers ever, and it's part of it is because of that reveal as well. Dave says Duel of the Fates, great music, epic lightsaber battle, one of my faves. It is. I mean, it's arguably one of the top lightsaber duels. In fact, maybe part of the fun of these live events is to do top fives, just fun top fives, and everybody can get a moment to create and prepare their top fives. And then next week, when we do this, everybody can just slowly reveal their top fives, top fours, top threes, all that good stuff. That might be really fun. Yeah, that would be good stuff. Adam's got a comment here. It says, nobody's asked, but here's my Jar Jar analysis. He's an amazing, well-done character. He's a fool that accidentally stumbles into being a war hero because of that, getting into politics, and ends up being a major character in the downfall of the Republic. If that's not a brilliant commentary on modern politics, I don't know what is. Well, that's very interesting. So Jar Jar is a man ahead of his time. So, Brian, welcome to the show. I like some parts, mainly the lightsaber duel, of course, seeing you in line for it, Dan. That's right. So Brian and I, my very first celebration was Celebration 3 in Indianapolis. Brian and I went together. It was one of the first times Brian and I got to hang out. And our mothers were really good friends from work. So I contacted him, or he contacted me. I actually don't remember, Brian. You'll have to refresh my memory. But it was fun because that was the celebration where George Lucas was there. And actually, I remember at Celebration standing in line hearing people talk, Brian, and thinking, gosh, I want to be a part of this conversation. I feel like I've got something to say in Star Wars. And now we've got this great social media stuff because Celebration in Indianapolis was before social media, kids. Back in my day, we didn't have social media. So now we can all, because of the magic of the internet, we can share our Star Wars thoughts, which is super, super cool. Okay, there's a lot of great comments coming up. Dave, Dave was at Celebration in our panel. He says, Tom made me buy that book after that day. Yeah, that was really, really great. Eric, hello. Good to see you, my friend. Always great to see Eric. Eric's a heck of a good Star Wars writer, too. Be sure to seek out his writings. Tyler's got a comment. He says, when he was 8, when Phantom Menace came out and was obsessed with it, he thinks it was the first movie that he saw more than once. There's still a lot I like with that movie. Qui-Gon is one of my favorite Star Wars characters and is very underrated. It is lower tier of my Star Wars ranking. So, again, very fair. But as I've said, Star Wars movies, even when they don't quite hit the marker, it's like pizza. It's still better than most other things. Thomas Gross in the age before audiobooks. Yeah, novelization read out loud to his wife on a drive from Philadelphia to Dallas. That's love right there. Dennis, you're a good husband. I remember reading that in a cabin in Missouri on a lake trip and just loving it. I mean, the Phantom Menace was such a big deal when it came to merchandise, and seeking out all those individual Pepsi cans was so much fun. And I would go to you would take this boat and you would go over and you would you just get on this dock and you go, and there's a convenience store, 7-Eleven, Casey's, what have you. And that was where you could go and search through, because you didn't have to buy cases because there were individual cans already opened up there. And that was so fun because it was just part of the thrill of the hunt, which is the great fun of Star Wars. Yeah, for sure. Yes, Eric says he wrote about the blog about the Falcon being a character. Yes, Eric, you did. Yes, you did. Oh, look at this. Corey's got a fun conversation. Took my girlfriend, now wife, to Attack of the Clones midnight showing. Tried to watch Phantom Menace before, and she fell asleep. Man, and was there a party of Corey's like, gosh, I don't know, this is a test. I don't know how she's going to do. Nah, just kidding. I think my wife, when I took her to see the Phantom Menace when it was on 3D, I think she fell asleep during it as well. But then I think she woke up pretty quickly and she liked the movie, so that's good. Yeah, Tom, you should read the Phantom Menace novel to your girls. I think it's great fun. Lisa says, I waited 8 hours for that trailer to load on dial-up. Oh my gosh. I remember those days. I remember even more with Attack of the Clones. There was like an advanced trailer you could download through the official Star Wars fan club back when that was a thing, and it took forever to watch it. And when it finally loaded, it was really choppy, and that was really, really challenging for sure. Hey, it's Sean. Sean, good to meet you, man. Good to see you. Sean has a Disney podcast that you should check out. And Sean is a local here in the Central Illinois area. So good to see you, my friend. Glad for you to join us. Glenn says, I still say Jar Jar has force abilities. How else could you explain his luck? I'm gonna say no on that. I don't think he has force powers. I mean, maybe he does, but I'd say that is, if I had a magic eight ball, I'd be like, looks unlikely, is what I would say. Dave says he saw the Phantom Menace with his dad and sister, loved it so much, bought tickets for the next available showing. I saw it. Hey, it's Rob. Hey, Dan. Hey, man. Rob and I were roommates for when I worked at the college program at Walt Disney World, so it's great to see Rob. The initial shows of Coffee with Kenobi, and it says, here are your hosts, Dan Z and Corey Club. That's Rob. He's the voice of that, which is really, really fun. When I first saw it, I went to a midnight. We won midnight tickets because they didn't have a midnight showing, but they had through a promotional through the radio station. And yeah, Adam, they're fun. They're so fun. That those Pepsi cans. I even bought Pepsi offered a display case of them. Dan, grab something Phantom Menace in your office and show it off. Wow. Okay. I think I can do that. A lot of my Phantom Menace stuff is way up on mounted, so I'm not going to get that. But I will get this. This is of course, the Darth Maul figure. This is a big deal that I actually have it like this because obviously, I mean, you saw the intro and you saw my collection. In fact, if you didn't, I'm going to show you that again just so you guys can get an idea of what it looked like because I was really proud of that. We had fun with that thing. Check it out. On my collection. I rarely open I'm going to try to pause it there. I didn't really spend a lot of time. Can everybody hear me okay? I'm assuming you can. I don't think the thing is mic'd. Oh man, look at all these. Yes, it's open. I know, right? It is sort of surprising that I did. Yes, I do have 2 copies of that. I do have 2 copies. Dan, never opened stuff? I know, right? Thank you, Adam. This is the intro. If you weren't here at the beginning when you joined us, it was something that it was a complete labor of love. But I paused it here on this screen so you could see this bookshelf right here. Some of it's cut out, and obviously on the very left, I've got the Disney Infinity figures, and I've got a lot of the Hot Wheels replica vehicles. Oh, can't you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Yeah. Okay. Good. So it can hear me. Right. All right. And then on the right at the top, I've got the headpiece of the Staff of Ra. I've got some Indiana Jones stuff. I've got a lot of some great books on the very, very bottom that I'll have to show on a future show as well. I'll let the rest of this play out. Classic Falcon, Star Wars, box, the Kylo Ren, hey, I'm most proud of all the canons. There you go. Good stuff. All right, so now everybody is all caught up again. Again, I think that's going to be the intro to this thing. It's really, really fun. I started to say, if it works out, I've tried for a couple of weeks in a row to do this, and I think Tom and Corey have got it worked out where we're going to do a special feed like this for Patreon contributors, so you can watch us do pour over, and I think that'll be fun. Sarah's longtime friend of Coffee with Kenobi and our Geeks Helping Geeks group says, great collection, beautifully displayed. Thank you so much. Eric, thanks, man. It's It's a labor of love. Those shelves are from IKEA, and they are. I mean, every time I go back, I don't know if you can tell, but behind me I've got another one. Hey, Dennis. Thanks, man. Good to see you. And again, if you can't stay with us live the whole time, totally okay. It's going to be here for you on CWK Cafe and in the Facebook group. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. And then I think I'm going to start uploading them to YouTube as well, because who knows what listeners are out there already that aren't able to join us right now, which is really, really fun. Okay. So any other last minute thoughts on the Phantom Menace? Everyone is like completely in shock. Who knows when to actually open this thing up? But sometimes you just have to open an extra one. So I did. Yeah. It's just good stuff. So I'll put him back later. I think I opened up a Qui-Gon Jinn as well. So throughout this, another thing I've been doing on Patreon, I didn't want this to be a Patreon commercial, so I do apologize for that. But $5 is the pour over, and then $10 I do a daily shot of an individual thing from my collection and talk about it very, very briefly, which is really, really fun. Tyler, yeah, IKEA shelves, they're great, and I have like the Funkos fit on them. The Disney Vinylmations fit on them. The smaller lightsabers fit on them. A lot of stuff fits on them. It's really, 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 really nice. Okay. Yes, Corey did help give office layout tips. Yes, you did. Corey gives lots of tips on everything. He is invaluable. And obviously, Coffee with Kenobi wouldn't have even started if not for you, my friend. So thank you. We got some other fun stuff planned for Facebook Live that Corey and I have been working on as well that I think you're really, really going to like. Okay, so we're about a half hour into the show. Again, welcome everybody. If you didn't join us at the top of the show, I am Dan Z, the host and brand manager. I guess that's my new title now. Brand director of Coffee with Kenobi. And it's great to be here with all of you. LJ says, sign up for the Patreon, everyone. Well worth it. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. It's great to have you, and you guys help us out in so many ways. Yeah, Tyler, really, these are really, really good with the Funkos. So again, I'm Dan Z. Happy to join you tonight on CWK Live here on Facebook every Monday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Happy to be a part of this with each and every one of you. What else is going on in the world of Star Wars that you guys want to talk about? And Colby, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Any other fun things in the world of Star Wars that you think we should talk about? There's a lot of fun stuff out there, really. It's about to get random. Yeah. Oh, look at that logo. I'm going to shrink that, put that over here like this. Maybe make it a little bit smaller. Okay. Oh, that's too small. That's pretty good. Okay, thank you for bearing with me. I like to experiment with stuff and try to make things a little bit better for you. I think that's a part of the fun. Supreme leader of CWK. There you go. Lovely. I love it. Tyler's awesome too. Again, what I always say is that one of the great things, Eric, happy to help anytime, man. And Corey is a good person to talk to, as is Tom, and as are everyone else in this amazing feed here. One of the great things about Star Wars is this wonderful community that we have. Okay. Speaking of collections, how do you all collect? Like, what is sort of your thought process there as far as what do you collect? Like, for me, it used to be something where I just bought anything I saw that looked cool. Well, after a while, you start to have a brain and you think about the fact that, LG, I can't do that. I can't highlight there. That's a rumor. I don't know anything about that. Should we block LJ? Should we block him from the show altogether? Nah, I don't think it'd be as fun if we did. I eventually stopped doing that. At one point, and this is going to be very heartbreaking for some people, so I apologize in advance. But at one point on, Eric says he trimmed down to books and comics, not the toys anymore. It's hard. And I will say, I mean, we've got an exclusive reveal of an amazing figure from Hasbro that they're letting us share with the world tomorrow. So you definitely want to be checking the Coffee with Kenobi website and social media, because we've got a huge exclusive reveal from Hasbro that I'm excited to share with you. I love what Hasbro does. I love what Kenner did. I wish that we had carded figures from The Rise of Skywalker. That was always the thing that I always sort of lamented. Dave says Funko, Black Series, and Lego. That doesn't stop me from getting other things that are cool. Exactly. I've talked about this before, but I've gone through my collection 3 or 4 times, and I've sold a lot of stuff, and I've used the money to put it back into the studio. I've used the money to add to like our home theater system, all kinds of really cool stuff. And I've decided that this beautiful office, you just saw the video, that I want to be able to see my stuff, right? I want to be able to experience my collection. I don't want it just sitting in a box somewhere. And I did that for so long. Now I still have a bunch of stuff up there, but I rotate it in and out as is appropriate, because that's, again, I want to experience my collection. That's part of Star Wars for me. Glenn says he's 51 and you do not look it, my friend. Saw the original in theaters, had many of the original toys. Started going back and buying some of my favorite pieces. Yeah, I've been thinking about that too. You saw that I have the Kenner Death Star, which is my favorite playset ever. I still got the box of it, which is really, really cool. And it's pretty great. I'm still missing about 6 figures or so. Speaking of my collection in the CWK Studio, I'll tell you what. If you heard the last Coffee with Kenobi, C-3PO is your first toy. What was Mason's first toy? It's always so funny when Coffee with Kenobi is talking to me on the feed I'm always throwing. Hey, let's see who this is. Oh, they seem like nice people. I'm guessing that's Lisa, or it might be Corey. I don't know. They got the keys to this thing. Mason's first Star Wars toy. You know what? That is really, really hard to say, because it was that guy. Thank you, Corey. I love it. I don't remember, because I of course he got a bunch of stuff when he was little, and then I had duplicates of stuff and I'd give it to him. And one as he got older, we'd go in the attic and look through stuff and like, oh, Daddy, that's cool. The first figure I remember buying for him, I think was a First Order Stormtrooper. Actually, I need to like rack my brain and sort of figure out what that actually was. Books and comics for Tom, and anything that strikes his fancy. Hot Wheels, Funko, trading cards, but not much. Yeah, for sure. The nice thing about some of the stuff that I have is it's not super expensive, but it looks really, really great. Eric wants to know, what is my favorite collectible? I don't know. I mean, I love the stuff I have from Galaxy's Edge. One of my favorite things that I have, it's sort of newish. I'll grab it and show everybody real quick, but I love the Master Replica hilts. I've got Anakin's 1/1 scale. I've got Darth Sidious, and I've got Yoda's, from both of those from Revenge of the Sith. Those are great. I love these Burger King glasses up here. I've got all of those, and I've got, well, my picture with Harrison Ford. Is that a collectible? That's the best thing. I'll show you really quickly one cool thing that I have that I was really, really excited about. Ross says he'd chain up a small Star Cruiser above the backyard, legit display space. Nice, very nice. Dave says he's got some of the original from his childhood, the 13. Play them a lot. They're used and abused, but you love them. Yeah, they should be loved. They should be played with. I'll show you this really cool thing that I have. I'm not going to wear it now because it's getting warmer, but I've got the crew jacket from The Rise of Skywalker that everyone had. Yeah, thanks, Simbad. I gave you credit at the beginning, my friend. So this coat is really, really nice. This is one that the crew wore. I was fortunate to get one of these. It's really, really cool. I just have it in my office. I've got a crazy amount of Star Wars jackets, like crew jackets, stuff from Lucasfilm, really, really cool stuff from Hot Topic. Actually, Corey and I bought ones after we saw Matt Martin wearing one on a Star Wars show. That looks kind of like it kind of looks like Cassian Andor. Cassian Andor's from Rogue One. Yeah, thanks, man. Tom says his R2-D2's body is worn off. Yeah, I've got, like I said, I'm missing 6, but I've got my original R2. I've got the R2-D2 with the periscope. I don't have the Kenner one that has Luke's lightsaber in it, but I mean, someday. Not Celebration, they're too expensive there. Of course, says you also met George. Yes, I did. That was pretty special, and I started to say, the last Coffee with Kenobi, Ed Dawes did the IndyCast, who helped me get my start in podcasting. He um, he was awesome. So he and I, before we even recorded this show, um, oh, hopefully the stream. It says I'm getting a message that my stream quality is not as good. Hopefully, that's not, you're not catching any sort of a weight there at all as well. Yeah, no, it's a Ren jackets. Oh yeah, are those the ones from Columbia, Tyler? Or maybe it's from something else. Oh, Hot Topic. Thank you. Thank you. Um, I have no idea what I was talking about. Anyway, so refresh my memory on the feed if you want to. Um, the the Star Wars collection is great. I don't know that I've slowed down. I mean, I kind of taken to a lot of the mugs. I've got a lot of really cool mugs. I've got over here. Maybe I'll post it later on in the CWK Cafe. But I've got a lot of cool, unique mugs from Lucasfilm and things like that. It says it froze for a second, but it's good now. Okay, good. Well, I've got a bunch of teenagers in the house who like playing streaming PS4, so that sometimes can cause some interference. But hopefully, I think it'll be okay. We've got some good setup here for things just like this as well, which helps a ton. But on our Instagram page, on our Instagram page, I on the you can save the stories and put them on your profile. I've got one of just all the different Star Wars mugs, which is pretty fun. Corey says your newest artwork pieces are great, Lisa. Oh man, aren't they ever? It's so cool. I don't really know who that is. So cool, so much fun. Lisa's got great stuff. Lisa has a huge Star Wars collection. Lisa, you should start posting more pictures of your stuff as well. And Tom's got a pretty stunning Star Wars office. Maybe Tom, if you make a video, we can play it here next week, so you can show off the collection. That would be pretty fun to do, I think. Corey's got some great stuff. Corey is actually one of the reasons I even have an office, because before I met Corey, you remember this dude? My wife came home and she said, my nephew, he's got an office where he does a lot of his work, his art, and some different things, and he has some cool collectibles in his office. It reminded me of you, and he's got a Superman statue. And I remember thinking, how cool that I've got this new member of my family that's got this happening, and I could do that too, which is really cool. Oh, Lisa says she's organizing. Well, that's wise. I've been organizing a lot as well. So look forward to seeing the fruit of your labors, my friend. Sarah gave a lot of original collection to a friend, then started collecting again. Oh yeah, that's tricky. There's a few things that I've lost that I'd like to get back, or that I sold, or something like that as well. Yeah. No, I know. It's fun. It's right up there with the Gumby story too, which you know what I'm talking about. It's pretty cool. Just these memories. Again, Star Wars is about these memories we make with each other. It's just this community, this great community that we have. I didn't know that. I actually, every time I'm in your office, I think, where's the Superman statue? So I don't know if maybe you had a picture or something, or maybe I'm misremembering. It's very possible. Very possible. All right, we got about 15 minutes left. Anything pressing you want to talk about from the world of Star Wars? How many people are sort of in limbo about having a future trip to Disney World? Because everything is obviously closed right now. I'm optimistic. We're hoping to go this summer, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, right? I mean, if it's not open, there's really not much you can do about it, then is there? I don't know. So we're optimistic. Oh my gosh. When Corey first met me, I had a Red Lantern shirt on. I remember that as well. Actually, this is how silly and, clueless I was. But Glenn, that's cool. October. I hope the Force Alliance for you, my friend. Is it your first time in the Galaxy's Edge? Because it's pretty wonderful. It's pretty great. I remember going on a date with Deanna before we were married, and I wore that Red Lantern shirt out, and I can't imagine wearing a comic book shirt on a date. Now, not that there's anything wrong with it. can't imagine doing that. It's just kind of funny how time has changed and how life has changed, all that good stuff. If you go to Galaxy's Edge, obviously you want to use MEI and Mouse Fan Travel, and they are awesome because they're right on top of what's going on with the cancellations and helping you reschedule, not cancel, and things of that nature, which is really, really good. Yes, you're trying to stay optimistic about Celebration. I'm trying to stay optimistic about it too. I mean, again, it's the end of March, so April, May, June, July, August. It's 5 months away. Let's hope that in 5 months we've got things more back to status quo. Hopefully. Glenn says, first time in Galaxy's Edge. I don't know who's more excited, me or my son. I know. It's the best. It is absolutely the best. There's so many wonderful things to do there. You are going to absolutely love it so very much. So very much. So let's come up with a top 5 list that we want to talk about next week on Facebook Live. I think it might be fun, since we were talking about Darth Maul in that scene later. Lisa, Galaxy's Edge, I'm telling you. I have some cards, I just need to play them. It says, we're taking the family back to Disney in November, hopefully bringing my parents who have been in 25 years. Oh, man. Yeah, that would be great. That would be so fun. I can't wait to see pictures of that. Fingers crossed for you, buddy. Always in motion, the futures. That's exactly right. You don't really know. I think Celebration, Ross says Celebration is the benchmark, right? Yep, I agree. If it doesn't happen, we'll just have to have a bigger Facebook Live party here as well. So, again, fingers crossed. Tom says he's planning to go to Disneyland in August. Something else planned, yeah. Isn't it great that they figured out that Disneyland After Dark thing for Star Wars and were able to make sure everybody got their tickets? That was huge. That helps out quite a bit. I'm really hoping for a Celebration to happen. I think it's going to be fun. I want to see everybody. I want to hang out with everybody. I want to go to Disneyland with Tom and Corey, and I want to get a huge Coffee with Kenobi picture with everyone in front of the Falcon. Wouldn't that be the best? That would be so much fun. Oh, so Corey suggests top 5 moments in Star Wars that truly shocked you. I was going to go with top 5 lightsaber duels, including comic books, including Clone Wars and Rebels, and all the films. That might be a quicker one to kind of jump in, but top 5 moments in Star Wars that truly shocked you, Corey. How about we just do that for a regular show topic when we have you on sometime and do that? Let's do that. So Eric says he's got some about cards. It's fun. It is fun. I've got the one from Galaxy's Edge. I've got, let's see if they're down here. I've got a bunch of Sabacc decks. I've got one from Celebration Anaheim. I've got one that Lucasfilm made for employees for Solo. So they're all pretty cool. I think very soon. I've got the Hasbro one too. I think so. So Brandy says we went to Disney in February and got their trip to Galaxy's Edge. It's amazing. This is what's calling me back. We only go every 2 to 3 years, so I have a while to wait. Yeah, but at least you don't have to worry about if it's going to be canceled or closed or things like that. So that's good, and you've got those great memories as well. Okay, good. Thank you, Corey. So let's do a top 5 things, our top 5 favorite lightsaber duels, again, from the movies, from the comics, and from the animated stuff. So if that sounds good, let's hear some applause. I found some more fun things to do. Watch this. Yep. Hey, I'm sort of a ham with some of this stuff, so Facebook Live may very well be creating a monster. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's going to be fun. So yeah, let's do that next Monday night. We will do that Facebook Live at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. We will have our top 5 lightsaber duels, again, from the movies, from the comics, from the animated stuff. There's a lot to dissect, and I'm going to evaluate them. I'm going to do it too. I'm going to make one where we have I'm going to consider the emotional weight of them, the choreography, their importance to the stories themselves, all of those things. I think that would be I think that would be fun, and I think it'd be fun for everybody to do it. Yeah, exactly. All right, well, again, everybody, thank you so much. You can find Coffee with Kenobi each and every week on wherever you find podcasts. We've been doing it for almost 7 years. We want to make you think about Star Wars. We want to make you laugh, and we want to make you feel like you're a part of this community because you absolutely 100% are. So our next show is going to come out tomorrow. I'm not sure of the time yet. It kind of depends on how the stars align. But we're going to review the next episode of the Clone Wars. I will give a sneak preview and say that I think that the most recent episode of the Clone Wars is excellent. One of the best ones of this new season. Tyler's already got his number one. Cool. Figure out the others. Very good. Yeah. So we're all going to be a part of this, right? We're all going to have our top fives, and I think when we do it, we'll do it very like we'll all give our top five. Then we'll go forward. Everyone knows how to count, of course. So that'll be fun. Glenn, my pleasure, buddy. It was really really fun. Like the show on Facebook. I'm assuming you have, or you'll be here right now. Be sure to let everybody know. Hey, if you want to talk Star Wars in a positive, family-friendly, spoiler-free environment, you've got Coffee with Kenobi, the podcast. You've got Facebook Live every Monday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Tell people on Twitter that you're listening to the show. Follow the show on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. If I get up to 10,000 followers on Instagram, I get the swipe up option for the stories. I really want to do that so I can promote all kinds of other things. And that would be really, really great as well. Of course, you can find us on Patreon and listen to CWK Pour-Over, which is our weekly podcast hosted by myself, Tom Gross, and Corey Clubb. I think that about does it. WatchStarWars.com. You never know when I'm going to show up there with some different articles and things like that. Eric says duels can be two or can be a group. Duels means just two or can it be a group? Yes. The answer is yes. I think duel, I forget if DUAL, it means one versus DUEL. I think they might be synonymous with one another, but I'll have to look that up, and Eric, obviously let me know what you find out as well. Thanks again, everybody. Your support, your friendship, having a Star Wars community like all of you to share this with means the world to me. It's just a great part of you add a lot to my life with your passion, with your kindness, with your community, and for just being supportive, right? I mean, I think we need each other, especially during these times. Foster this conversation. Definitely comment or put pictures in the CWK Cafe. It's great. You're a wonderful community. Thank you so much, everybody. Until next time, remember, this is the podcast you are looking for. We will see you next week. Thank you again so very much. That would be even better if this happened. Let's try it again. Thank you so much.